My Wife Has No Emotion is not a story about my loveless marriage, because I am quite single. This is a manga about a world where robots have become commonplace appliances, slotting in nicely between your rice cooker and microwave. Takuma has recently brought one of these by the name of Mina-chan, and jokingly asked her to be his wife after a few too many beers. Soon afterwards, strange occurrences start to happen, like Mina writing I love you on an omurice when it's not in her programming, or creepily staring at him in the middle of the night. Is this some sort of hidden functionality not written in the manual, or is there something more to the cold stare of this little maid bot? We've got a cute little romance about an unconventional couple, a man and his dishwasher. Is it sexist if it's a robot? Or maybe it's racist because I'm reducing them to a single-purpose appliance? Whatever it is, also I am joking. Don't go calling anyone a dishwasher or you'll get a very deserving punch in the face. This manga drew me in because of its premise, because I've seen this question thrown around in other sci-fi works before. Is it okay to fall in love with an AI? Of course, when I say AI, I don't mean the chatbots you find on the internet. We're talking about the possible near future where computers are able to think for themselves and act like your average human being. While the purpose of the story is more about a charming little rom-com, I do think this manga brings up a lot of interesting points to discuss. Firstly, how advanced does an AI have to be considered dateable? It's stated in the first chapter that Mina is a cheap, low-grade, second-hand model, and the way she acts could easily be seen as just a slightly more advanced Alexa, but she has these moments of humanity that makes you question how smart she really is. I already mentioned the omurice, but she also seemingly tries to goad a confession out of Takuma during one of their nights together, and pours out all his beers when she determines he's a bit too off the deep end. Hidden behind the cold metal exterior and stiff robotic dialogue, she shows many moments of being able to think for herself, which is a bit unusual for what is meant to be a simple cooking robot. Well, I say that, but Mina is honestly incredibly adorable. Despite not being able to express emotion, they do a really good job of showing how she feels by maybe tilting her head along with some slight movement in her eyes. She has that classic lack of common sense that you see in rudimentary AI, but it adds to her charm, like how she clearly doesn't understand how to hold a phone. It's very cute. Now, there isn't much drama in the way of interspecies relationships, as every person is very accepting of Takuma and Mina's relationship, which is fine. This manga isn't really looking at the morality of the situation. There is this one moment in the manga where Mina decides to get some upgrades, so the manufacturers of the Mina series send someone over to inspect her and pick her up. Mina is part of a brand of Mina robots who have different specialties like cleaning or babysitting. During this, we find out that they actually have a protocol in place for people that treat the Minas like humans, where they also have to treat them as humans and do not read or erase the memories of that certain Mina. We also find out that people overseas have been marrying robots, so there's no laws against it outside of marriages not really being officially recognized in Japan. Add R to the end of LGBTQ. We also have this pretty chilling scene of Mina having her head dissected live, which prompts Takuma to stop the inspection process. The chapter brings up a lot of important points about the concept of death for robots. Let's say your modem isn't working. Before you call up your internet provider so they can put you on hold for a few hours, you might try a few things like turning it on or off, or maybe even resetting it to factory settings. It's a simple process. Stick a pen into a hole and voila, it's back to new. Now replace your modem with your mother, or father, or anyone you're really close to. Man, they're just not working today. They seem to be having some sort of issue going on in their brain. Guess I'll hit the reset switch for them. Back to new, and entire personality completely erased. You just killed the person you love most because they had a mental disability. That's the kind of hypothetical situation that I really appreciate from a series like My Wife Has No Emotions. And it's also got me thinking about our current attitude with AI, mainly AI art. I've played around with it a little and I found it interesting, fascinating even, and also very terrifying, especially when I heard more about it. Because AI art is bad, but not because AI is bad. Humans force-feed AI stolen artwork from hard-working artists. Humans steal the AI's art to market them as their own creation. We don't like AI art because it is being used by humans, and until regulations are in place, this is likely to continue. But what happens when AI stops being used by others? What happens when AI becomes so advanced that it gains human rights? No longer shackled by an owner, the AI decides to spread its creative wings and post art online for the world to see. What would it take for us to accept them as a fellow artist? Another example, you may have seen clips of this Twitch streamer called Neuro. She is a VTuber and also an independent AI created by Vidal987 to play Osu, but she's slowly become more and more advanced the more she streams. She's quite funny to watch, able to roast chat while maintaining the innocence of a machine that doesn't know better. And she's even been banned off Twitch, so she's basically mastered streaming. You probably look at her and see her as this cute little gimmick that sometimes denies the Holocaust. Maybe you'll keep watching, or maybe you'll move on to something else, because it's very clear that this is not a human streamer. But what happens when those distinctions start to disappear? Deepfakes, voice emulation, machine learning. This new YouTuber you found is pretty funny, so you decide to subscribe. But what you don't realize is that everything, from the script to the person speaking inside the screen, was created using AI. Nothing was touched by a human, at best there's a guy keeping tabs in the background to make sure it's working as it should. YouTubers get replaced by talent agencies filled with soulless binary. Or if we look further again, where an AI is not owned by anyone, and decides to play games online to the amusement of their viewers. Is this okay? Should we accept this AI as a fellow content creator, as one of us? I don't have the answer to that. I simply pose the question. There's a lot of moments in this manga that explore what happens when robots roam the sidewalk next to us, and while it never becomes close to dystopian, it does make me wonder what is in store if we continue to let AI become creative. Think on that for a bit, and I implore you to read My Wife Has No Emotion for yourself. This is just a very cute romance that sometimes gets the gears turning about the possible future of artificial intelligence. But with everything that's been discussed today, there is one more question that needs to be asked. Would you hit that robussy?